The game of basketball is full of emotion, so of course, chirping is part of the game. Whether it's jawing with another player or mouthing off after a perceived bad call, it seems like refs nowadays are handing out technicals like candy.
If you don't shut the door after using the refrigerator, that's a technical foul.
Where are my 8 Crazy Night fans at? Taunting, flopping, even hanging on the rim will almost always result in a tech. But back in the day, it took a whole lot more than that to receive a technical foul. So without further ado, here are my top 5 players with the most technical fouls in NBA history.
Play clock at 5, score 4 goals, 3, 2 home running, and 1.
Technical foul, technical foul, technical foul.
Alright, back to the video. Coming in at number 5, it's Dennis the Worm Rodman. We all know Rodman was the poster child for on and off the court antics. But do me a favor, name a guy with a more interesting NBA career, let alone life. And no doubt, the Worm was a winner. But the one thing he was arguably better than anyone at was getting under people's skin. That was the refs, other players, fans, even cameramen. Roll the tape.
Missed it. Dennis fights for the rebound, tapped it out, and it'll belong to Minnesota.
They kicked the cameraman.
Dude once got teed up and ejected for sitting down in the paint in protest after a call. I mean, anybody with a book called Bad As I Wanna Be is going to be amongst the leaders in techs. It's just a fact. So dude finished his career with 212 technical fouls. That's 15 Ts per season for his career. His last stop of his career, we were already talking about it, the Dallas Mavs. He played 12 games with the Mavs for his career. In those 12 games, 6 technical fouls. At number 4, it's Gary the Glove Payton. When you're an absolute pest combined with an ultra-competitive demeanor, well, technical fouls are sure to ensue. Not to mention, Gary's known as one of the best, if not the best trash talker of all time. We've seen him get into it with MJ, Kobe, and many more, including every referee of the 90s. That's a massive exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Some wild stories of Payton mouthing off are featured in a new book called Trash Talk. According to the book, Coach George Karl once said he would play Gary an entire 48 minutes so he wouldn't have to hear him talk on the bench. He also apparently, according to the book, used to warn the refs before the game that he's going to get on them and suggested they should tee him up. Well, he certainly got his fair share of techs. Over the course of 17 seasons, Payton has racked up 250 technical fouls, good for 4th most of all time. Now, I was surprised this man wasn't at the number 1 spot, but coming in at number 3 for the most Ts in his career, it's Rasheed Wallace. Now hold on. Stop what you're doing right now, pause this video, and pull up a new tab, go to basketballreference.com, and I want you to type into the search bar, technical foul. What comes up? Yup, kinda crazy, it directs you to Rasheed Wallace's page.
That's a technical foul.
As a matter of fact, he holds the single season record for most techs in a season with 41. Let that sink in, 41 Ts in one season. There's 82 games in a season, so 41 into 82. That's 1 technical every 2 games. What? It's a record that will never be broken thanks to the rule that a player is suspended 1 game after their 16th tech. You know that rule was only implemented in large thanks to Rasheed Wallace. He once got teed up for staring down a ref. And of course, the infamous ball don't lie technical foul. I was watching that game, I was watching it live.
I watched the whole game.
His career total, a whopping 317 technical fouls. Damn! We salute you for your service, Rasheed. And at the number 2 spot, it's another guy who's not afraid to speak his mind. It's Sir Charles Barkley. You already knew that one of the most outspoken personalities in the history of the game was going to grace this list. Sir Charles has gotten into it with players, refs, fans, and even mascots. I mean, he had to be tough. Dude was pretty undersized for a power forward. But he wasn't called the round mound of rebound for nothing. Sir Charles pretty much fought the entire league back in the day, and he actually holds the NBA record for most technical fouls per game. Chuck was putting up .28 technical fouls per night. So for his career, he notched an insane 329 total technicals. My guy Charles was pretty much the Draymond Green of the 80s and 90s. The guy we need, the guy we want, and the guy that's worth the price of admission. And lastly, the player with the most technicals in history, none other than Karl the Mailman Malone. Malone's made the most free throws in history, he has the most regular season games started in history, and he owns nearly 20 statistical Utah Jazz records. So he's the all-time leader in multiple categories, including techs. Malone played 19 seasons, plus he had a mouth, and he played physical. He had those sharp elbows, so when he came down the lane or he was guarding someone that was coming down the lane, you knew one of 2 things was about to happen. A, you were about to get out the way, or B, you were about to take a bow to the face. Just ask Isaiah Thomas.
Down he goes, Isaiah.
We got a whistle. Isaiah's eyes cut badly. Oh, he took a blow to the head. Blood all over his forehead.
He too has gotten into it with basically everyone in the 80s and 90s. True, it was a different style of game and there was no 16th tech rule, but Malone racked up just 3 more technical fouls than Charles Barkley, 332 for his career. And that's a number I think will withstand the test of time. Alright, so that's my list. I gotta ask real quick, I know there's a rule change, but do you think anyone's ever coming close to Karl Malone's record? Do you think anyone's coming close to the top 5? I know Draymond Green's approaching like 180 for his career. Anyway, my name is Brad Parker, and that's my top 5.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. Da-da-da-da-da.